Anyway, so let's continue. So World War II. What are we doing for the warm-up? So for the warm-up, you're going to complete a slide, and that says, it's I see, I think, I wonder. I'm going to play a video from you, from a movie, okay? And basically, you're going to tell me, what do you see in the video? What do you think about what's happening in the video? And what do you wonder, okay? So let me give you an example of what that's going to look like. And I guess I'll share with you the other side. One moment. Okay, so this is what it looks like from your perspective. You should all be under week 11, and you should be on day 1 warm-up. Okay. So you'll do it this way, and you're going to open up the slides. Van a abrir aquí en slides, and you're basically going to find your name. Van a encontrar aquí su nombre y ahí van a poner su respuesta. You're going to find your name, and that's where you're going to put the response to the prompt. Okay. So for example, here it says for me, Mr. Martin. So I might say, I see lots of people. Like I'll watch the video and say, I'll see lots of people. Then I say, I think that those people are in a hurry. Tienen prisa. I don't know. And I wonder why those people are in a hurry. I don't know. That's just an example. Okay. It's a very bad example because it's very boring, but just so you understand. So basically you're going to put down like, what do you see in the video? What do you think about the people in the video? And and a question you have about what's happening in the video. And I'm gonna, just for those of you who are like wondering, how do you get here? I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Okay, there you go. And I'm not sure if everyone has permission. I might have to change the permission to make sure everyone has an access to it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so, oh wait, I put the wrong one. 1 second, let me change it here. Oh, okay, it should be fine. All right, so as long as you are in the Google Classroom, you should be able to edit the presentation. Okay. It looks like a lot of you are already on. That's great. And remember, you should find your name. So I should, anyway. So make sure that you are under your correct name. So asegúrense que están bajo su nombre. I see there's one person, okay, that's right now on my slide for Mr. Martin. So just remember, you're not Mr. Martin, I'm Mr. Martin. So you have to find your slide. Anyway, all right, so let's about get started. Okay, so you can get, if you haven't gotten on the slide yet, that's fine. You can get on it after you watch the video. But just remember, for the video, you're gonna write something that you see in the video. Something that you think about what's happening in the video. So what do you think is happening in the video? And a question you have, okay? Everyone understand? You good? ¿Todos entienden? Van a ver lo que, van a escribir lo que ven en el video, van a decir lo que creen que está pasando en el video y van a dar una pregunta sobre el video, okay? All right, so let's get to it. Let's watch the video then. And I hope, let me make sure I'm sharing sound, because that's like a big thing that people forget, to share sound. Okay. And here we go. And just let me know if there's anything wrong, okay? With the, if you can't hear it, for example.
Move fast and clear those murder holes.
Want to see plenty of beef between men. 5 men is a juicy opportunity. 1 man's a waste of ammo.
Get the sand out of your weapons. Keep those actions clear. I'll see you on the beach.
Okay. So that was the video clip. So if you could please, yeah, start answering the putting the prompts up on the Google Slides. Remember that you're supposed to write what did you see in the video? What do you think about what happened in the video? Or what do you think was happening in the video? And what is the question you have? So, busquen aquí su nombre y digan qué es qué es lo que vieron en el video, qué es lo que piensan sobre qué piensan que pasó en el video, qué piensan sobre el video y alguna pregunta que tengan sobre lo que pasó. So, some of you started writing, some of you almost finished writing. Okay, great. Let me start a timer for the rest of you. Okay, Google, start a timer for 3 minutes.
Third timer for 3 minutes. Starting now.
All right, so you got 3 minutes to finish. Tienen 3 minutos para completar.
Escribiré
Yeah.
mi respuesta por aquí porque donde lo estoy escribiendo se ve de negro y yo estoy haciendo esto por mi teléfono. Entonces no me deja
Oh,
poner
¿se
la
ve de
letra
negro?
en blanco.
Oh, hold on. Un momento. Se ve de negro.
O sea, cuando yo
Ok.
escribo, las letras se ponen de negro.
A ver, escribe algo.
Aquí, ver.
Okay. If you can please wrap it up in 1 more minute. Si pueden completar esto en como un minuto. Let's see. I saw someone had their hand up. Or was it a hand? Or no, it was a question, a chat question. No? Who was that? Akira, did you say something? Did you raise your hand? Or I don't know, maybe it was just my
Yes, but
imagination.
it was accident.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's about get ready. What what's going what's going on for Kira? She's like, oh great. Oh, well, anyway, let's get started with this. All right. So who would like to share? Who feels like sharing their responses? ¿Quién gusta compartir sus respuestas? Let's see. I see a couple of hands go up. Oh, 3 participants already. I think that's a decent group. Let's see. Let's do Karen, then Stojakovic, and then Akira. Okay. And then is it just the first people up there? Okay. So Karen, Stojakovic, Akira, and then Wildania. Okay. And then we'll see how it goes because, we have to have enough time for the rest of the things. So, all right. So go ahead, Karen, I'll blow yours up so people can see. All right. Go ahead, Karen.
I see that some soldiers died, others were injured, and others survived. I think that the survivors has physiological trauma, and I wonder what they put in their mouth before the war.
Okay. So I guess a question would be, why do you say that did you see in the video that the survivors had psychological trauma, or is that just something that you think would happen?
I think that happened.
Oh, so you just think like that seems like a very horrible thing. So of course people are going to have psychological trauma. Que por lo que tan horrible que era esa situación, pues claro que la gente va a tener como un trauma psicológico. Okay, I mean, I think it's hard to argue against that, Karen. So yeah, I think I'd have to maybe agree with that. And what do you mean by this? What did they put in the mount before the war? ¿Qué quieres
Un
decir con
soldado
eso?
se puso algo antes en la boca como si fuera tabaco antes de la guerra.
Oh, in the mouth, not in the mount, in the mouth. Okay.
Así eso.
Here, all right. So I was like, what? Because mount means something, so that's why it was confusing. Here, I'll fix it for you. Okay. So, so it's exactly right, Karen. You said it was tobacco, and yeah, it was tobacco. That's why you put it in his mouth. So chewing tobacco was the war takes place in the 1940s, and chewing tobacco was still very popular during that time, and especially popular with soldiers. Okay. So, yeah, so it was tobacco. All right. Thank you, Karen. Who did I say was next? Stojakovic?
Sí.
And just give me 1 second. There's like, oh, Aniele's answering. Okay, so Aniele, yeah, go ahead. Put your answer in the chat. Keep going. All right, Stojakovic, go ahead.
Okay. I see a group of soldiers in the war. I think, yo lo puse 2 veces. I think they were too concerned about the war. I wonder, conchale, pues yo lo puse 2 veces. I wonder if they ever thought of escaping out of fear of rain.
Dying. Okay. All right. So thank you for sharing, Stojakovic. So what do you mean by your second one? You said you think that they were too concerned about the war. What do you mean by that? ¿Qué quiere decir con que tú crees que eran muy como se preocupaban mucho se preocupaban mucho por la guerra? Is that what you're saying?
Yo
So
estaba hablando y
Djokovic,
estaba muteado.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking? All right, go ahead.
Yo estaba hablando y estaba muteado y yo me acosté tengo que echar. No, mister, yo digo que sí. Ya que yo quise decir, si ellos tenían la atención por estar en la guerra, por estar ellos teniendo un peligro grande, o sea, no sé.
Okay, oh, I see. So like even this situation, it just seems like it's very like, it's a great danger, right? So they would be worried all the time, right? Como esa situación se podrían como preocupar mucho porque es un peligro muy grande, ¿verdad? I guess I can see that. And I think your wonder is interesting. Like, do you wonder if they thought of escaping out of fear of dying? So like if I think the term for this would be a deserter. So I'm gonna put that on, I'm gonna put that in the chat because I guess it's an interesting word to use, a deserter. And it's a soldier who leaves their position during war. They abandon the mission. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. But that, I think what Sojakovic is describing is a deserter, which basically is like a soldier who leaves their position during wartime and they abandon the mission. So basically, like there's always people who like they don't want to be involved in the war and they want to leave, and different countries, different militaries have different reactions to this. So it really, I think, especially in this situation, I think people, they didn't want to be here. And maybe, and so I think you saw in the video, some people just decided to hide and to stay hidden, right? So I don't know if they could leave or really escape the situation, but definitely they wanted to hide from it. And to be honest, I don't blame them, because that was a very it just seems like a very scary situation. Like I can't even imagine it. So thank you, Joakovic. And all right, so I think who was next? Akira?
Yes.
All right. And wait, Akira, did you put anything in, or are you just gonna share like that?
I put it something. My computer was without internet.
Wait, Akira, you're next, or wait, who did I say was next? Was it Akira?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. Go ahead.
I put something, but the computer was out of internet. So. Can you see that?
Well,
No.
all right, well, Akira, I'm just gonna have you just share like that, okay? Just speak and yeah, go ahead.
I see a group of
Oh,
soldiers
okay.
with a poor health going somewhere, and
Okay.
I think they are in a war, maybe with some country or maybe in a world war. I wonder in what war they were.
Okay. So I guess I have a question for the part where you see, what do you mean by they were in a poor health? What makes you think they were in poor health?
Because when they were in the boat, they were like, bueno, yo no sé cómo se dice vomitar en inglés, yo lo dije en español, yo estaba vomitando.
Vomiting. There's different ways you can say it. There's vomiting, there's throwing up. Yeah, there's a few ways you can say it, but they were vomiting. Okay, so that's why you. Yeah, well, I don't know if I've never been this nervous, but some people, when they get very nervous or very afraid, they throw up, they vomit. So I think that I don't think the soldiers were necessarily sick or in poor health. It was just they were just very scared, I think. So your question is, you wondering what war they were? So like, this, what we're talking about today is World War II. So it was World War II. I guess if I want to be more specific, this scene is, this battle took place at Omaha Beach, and that's in France. Okay, so this whole thing, it's in Normandy, France. All right, so that's where they're going. But these are, I don't know if you could tell, but all the soldiers that were on the boats, they were American soldiers, and the soldiers that were fighting against them, even though it's in France, they were not French soldiers. Okay, they were German soldiers. So they were fighting in France right there in the video, but American soldiers going to the beach, and the German soldiers were the ones who were shooting with the big guns and using the bombs. Okay. All right, Wildania, I think you wanted to share.
Sí.
Yes. Okay,
Sí.
let me find your name.
Mister,
Where was,
yo no
is
sé
it
cómo
up?
yo no sé cómo se escribe conflicto en inglés, pero yo quería poner conflicto, pero no lo puse. Ajá, y
Okay.
yo puse, yo puse más cosas ahí.
Well,
¿Qué pasó?
okay. Well, you can just explain. You can explain it, Wildania. Go ahead. Just explain it.
Pues yo puse, I see people fighting and people dying. And yo,
Mhm.
y yo puse, I think the enemy. And, y porque tienen, y cuáles son los conflictos que llevó a esa guerra, pero no sabía cómo escribirlo en inglés, o lo estoy diciendo en español.
Okay, so tu
Y,
pregunta fue ¿qué? ¿Qué?
mira, yo
¿Qué
pienso
fue tu pregunta?
que mi pregunta era que cómo se escribe con conflicto en inglés.
Conflicto, casi igual, menos la O al final.
Ah, pues entonces yo puse ahí.
Es conflict. Mhm.
Okay. So yo puse I think the enemy and they have conflict.
Okay.
I will how, y por la pregunta yo puse I will how many people die and what the purpose of the fight.
Okay, those are good questions. Like, I think asking what's the purpose of fighting is something that people ask, but not at the beginning or during the war. They always ask after the war is over. People ask, what is the purpose of the fighting? So I think it's something that we as humans, we as people need to get better at asking before wars start instead of thinking back. Why did we fight? What was the purpose? So those are good questions, Ladanya. And you wonder what, like how many people died. Excuse me. Oh, that was all of a sudden. Give me 1 second, okay? So I think so here on the specific beach, I'm actually not sure how many people died. I can look it up very quickly. 1 second. Okay, Google. How many soldiers died on Omaha Beach? Okay. So so it was 2,000 soldiers. So like the soldiers that were, all the American soldiers that were going to that beach, it was 2,000 soldiers that died there. Okay. Eran 2,000 soldados que murieron ahí en esa playa. And if you're, go ahead.
Y otra pregunta, ¿cuántos soldados fueron? ¿Cuántos soldados fueron entonces? O sea, en total, ¿cuántos fueron a pelear?
Bueno, esos, te voy a dar esos números enseguida. So I'll tell everyone, okay? Esos números específicos te los voy a dar como en 5 minutos, all right? So hold off on that question. All right, so I see that some people raise their hands. So did you guys have questions or something to add? ¿Tienen preguntas?
No,
Okay,
porque la dejé así.
Okay, all right. All right, just making sure. All right, so let's continue, and thank you for all of those who shared. And even if you didn't share, this is just a reminder. I'm not trying to threaten you or anything. Okay, no quiero ser una amenaza nada, but there are some students who you guys are very good at participating, like for example, Stojakovic or Wildania. You guys are very good at just participating in class, so I remember that. Other students, like, you don't participate verbally very much, but you put responses in the text. Like, for example, I'll say Lisbeth, for example, she's not, she isn't speaking right now, but she is completing work in the Google Slides, so she is participating in that way. But other people, I don't hear you speaking. You don't put something in the text in the Google Slides, and you don't also don't send the chat response saying, hey, it is not working for me, so I'm just sending you the response here. So a participation is a part of your grade for the class. So just keep in mind that you're expected to give some participation when we're doing classes, okay? Tienen que dar alguna participación cuando estamos haciendo clases. Oh, all right. So before we move on, Karen has one more question. Karen's asking, why did they fight in the sea? So one of the reasons why they fought in the sea is, well, it's not that they wanted to fight in the sea. It's because basically the American soldiers, they were trying to surprise the German soldiers on in that territory. Okay. No es que andaban, querían ir en el mar, nomás que los soldados estadounidenses querían llegarles por sorpresa a los alemanes ahí en ese territorio. So basically that's why they are. So they were going by the water because that's the way that they chose to sneak attack them. Así es la manera que pueden llegar sin que por sorpresa, pues por eso andaban yendo por mar. Yeah. All right, so let me do new share. Let's go here. Is this what I wanted? Is it what I wanted? Okay, here it is. And I'm just double checking, making sure that it is. All right. So thank you all for sharing. Like I said, now we're moving on. Here is the aim. Can I get someone who hasn't volunteered yet to read? Oh, Karen, sorry. I've heard from you already today. Someone new, alguien nuevo, someone new. ¿Quién es yo? All right, go ahead.
I will be able to describe some of the characteristics of the Second World War.
All right. Thank you for the reading. Yeah. So, yeah, so this is kind of an odd thing, okay? Because basically, like, I guess to put things in perspective, I'll tell you, so when I was in college at university, I took a class for one semester, and all that we studied for that semester was the Second World War. And it still wasn't enough time to talk about everything, okay? Para darles una perspectiva, les quiero contar que en la universidad, yo tomé una clase que era sobre la Segunda Guerra Mundial y duró todo un semestre hablando solamente sobre la Segunda Guerra Mundial y no fue suficiente tiempo para cubrir todo, okay? So that's just to let you know that that's what we're working with right now, okay? Like I want to talk to you about World War II, but there isn't a lot of time. Like literally I have to, whatever I'm going to talk to you guys about World War II, it's going to be this week, the next week, and then 1 week after that, like in 3 weeks, whatever I want to say about World War II, that's all the time we have, okay? Because remember, I have to show you, we only have one semester together. So recuerden que lo que quiero enseñarles sobre la Segunda Guerra Mundial, nomás me toca 3 semanas con ustedes para lo que queda del semestre básicamente, y en ese tiempo tienen que poder hacer eso. Y so hay mucho que quiero explicar, quiero hablar, pero es el tiempo que nos queda. Okay. And speaking of the time that's left, let me move forward so that to make sure you get everything you can. All right. Oh, is there a question? I hope that it's not. Please hurry up. Yes, it is. Spasiba, Kapitan. Okay. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Yes, it is December 1st. It's been December 1st for 12 hours now. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so World War II by the numbers, okay? So basically what I'm going to give you next are some statistics, some numbers about World War II. Yeah, so just to, because remember, it is a world war. I think, you know, we're all like, I'm included in this. We're all pretty young. I don't think it's difficult for us to imagine having a war that involves basically like every continent, right? Es muy difícil que nosotros que somos jóvenes, ¿verdad? Y yo me incluyo a mí en ese grupo de saber cómo ¿qué significa que todo el mundo, que cada continente esté peleando, ¿verdad? En una guerra, pero aquí para que les dé como una idea. All right. So, 1939 to 1945. What do you guys think these numbers mean?
Years.
¿Cuánto tiempo duró la guerra?
Yeah, so the years that the war took place, that the war was fought. And, so that was, so for 6 years, the war was fought. And, like the video clip I showed you at the beginning, that clip was a battle that was actually considered one of the bloodiest, one of the fights that had the most casualties, right? The most people dying, right? The most people dying in such a small space very quickly. But it doesn't mean that a lot of the battles, a lot of the fights, a lot of the things that happened in World War II weren't also terrible, weren't also horrible, okay? There's a lot of, I guess you can say a lot of human tragedies that happened during World War II. Hubo muchas cosas que sucedieron durante la Segunda Guerra Mundial que se pueden decir que fueron como tragedias humanas, okay? It wasn't just a war, but just things that happened that are just tragedies on like an all human level, okay? So yeah, and so and the fact that the war was fought for 6 years, it just makes it like like even more surprising or more unbelievable que no es difícil para creer eso porque la guerra pues duró 6 años, ¿verdad? So that's like a long time. All right. 70 million, 70 millones, 70 million. Anyone want to guess what this is? What this number is?
Died.
Not persons who died. No.
I guess the number.
Although that's a lot of
of
people.
soldiers. Soldados.
Okay. Yep. So 70 million were the number of soldiers who fought. Okay. El número de soldados que pelearon en la guerra. So this is from all sides, okay? It wasn't just like the United States or Great Britain. It's like from every country around the world. Altogether, it was 70 million soldiers, okay? I don't know if this helps put it in perspective, but like in New York City, the population of New York City is more than 8 million people. La población de la ciudad de Nueva York es un poco más de 8 millones de personas. And so if we think about it that way, 70 million is about 9 New York cities at war. So si quieren pensarlo así de esa manera, el 70 millones viene siendo como si fueran 9 ciudades de Nueva York en guerra. So that's like, yeah. And of course, if you have any questions, oh yeah, well, Dania, question?
Sí.
Pronto.
Había edad para tu pelear. Vamos a decir como que, oh, tú tienes 18, tú vas para la guerra a pelear, o tú tienes 10 años, tú te quedas porque tú no puedes pelear. ¿Me entiendes?
Oh, okay. So in this country, in the United States, during this time, there existed the draft. Okay. En ese tiempo en Estados Unidos existía el draft. Basically, it meant that if you were healthy enough to be sent to war, that you had to go. If you were selected, you had to go. So si eras saludable para poder ir a la guerra, te daban un examen físico. Y si eras saludable para ir a la guerra y eras de edad, pues te mandaban a la guerra. Okay. There were some exceptions, like there were some, I can't think of off the top of my head what the exceptions were. But I think it's something like, it depends on, I don't know if your profession, but to be honest, I'm not sure what the exceptions were, but basically if you were healthy enough to go to fight during this time, you could be sent. Okay. Si eras saludable, tenías buena salud para que podías ir a pelear, pues te mandaban. Okay. And I think if you refused, si no quisiste ir, if you refused, that's like a crime. So they can put you in jail for that. Te pueden mandar a la cárcel si tú decías que no querías ir a pelear y y no te pueden mandar a fuerzas, pero nomás te encarcelaban por eso. Did that answer your question, Wildania?
En realidad, no.
Okay, well, what's your question then? I thought that was a question.
O sea, sí era esa misma, pero me quedé confundida. Entonces, en conclusión, tú me estás diciendo a mí que si yo era una cara, vamos a decir que yo soy hombre, de ejemplo, y yo tenía mi edad, o sea, 14, y yo estaba sano, me mandaban a pelear.
Okay, ¿de qué años tenías?
Pues yo tengo 14, eso, y yo estaba sano.
No, pues era de 18, 18.
Ah, mire, pero dígame,
18.
gracias.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear that part. No, you have to be 18. Tenías que tener 18. Okay, but that being said, there were some people, it was a different thing. Like, it was seen as very patriotic, especially for people to go fight in the war. Era como muy como patriótico para tú servir a tu país, ¿verdad? En ese tiempo para ir a la guerra. Entonces había instancias donde la gente, donde las personas mentían, donde los muchachos mentían y decían que tenían 18 años, pero tal no los cumplían porque ellos querían ir a pelear. So it's different. It's like how people see war then. There's been a few wars that America has been involved in since then that have changed how people think about what it means to go to war. So desde ese tiempo ha habido como algunos conflictos, algunas guerras que básicamente han cambiado la mentalidad de las personas y que no están, no es automáticamente considerado honorable para ir a la guerra. Hay como, pues es más complicado ya. So, yeah. 30 million. Any guesses?
Los que sobrevivieron o los que murieron.
Okay, so it has to do with deaths, right? So 30 million are the number of civilian deaths due to military action. Okay, so 30 millones fueron las personas que murieron debido a que eran civiles, o sea que no eran los del ejército, no, eran civiles que nomás vivían en las ciudades y, por ejemplo, en Londres, en Gran Bretaña, pues ellos eran uno de los países que estaban peleando y entonces en Londres habían muchas personas que murieron porque andaban el ejército de Alemania, pues andaban atacando mucho esa ciudad y había muchos civiles que no eran soldados, que no eran parte del ejército ni nada, pero ellos murieron por eso. Yeah, Wildania, let me see if someone else has their hand up first because I thought I saw some other hand. Oh, okay, Wildania, what's your question?
Ok, yo tengo otra pregunta. Ok, no sé si usted voy a entender, pero ¿qué pasaba con la gente que no iba a la guerra? Vamos a decir, la familia, la gente anciana. Había reglas. Tú podías ir y matar a esa gente o tú nada más podías matar a los soldados.
Oh, okay. So I see. I was thinking something else. Okay. So here's the thing, Wildania. Esa cosa. So I know it seems kind of strange, but there are rules of war. Okay. So sé que se parece como muy extraño, pero la guerra, cuando pelean los países, la guerra sí tienen reglas. Okay. And I know it seems strange. It's like, but the war is about killing people. How are there rules to killing people? But I think you have to keep in mind that at the end, every country knows that a war has to end. Okay. Que todos los países reconocen que una guerra debe tener un final. Okay. So basically, at the end of the war, people are going to pull up the records of everything that the countries did that was not good, that was wrong, that was not allowed, and then the countries are going to start punishing those who did like really horrible things. Okay, porque los países saben que las guerras deben de acabarse, ¿verdad? Deben de tener un fin. Entonces, al final de la guerra, cuando ya todos estén calmados, ya todos hay los vencedores y los que se rindieron, pues van a ver qué es lo que hicieron durante la guerra y ahí es donde van a castigar a los países basados en lo que hicieron también. Okay, so that's one thing. But basically, I don't know. To answer your question, Wildania, so there, like the reason that I'm even showing this picture is to show you that World War II had like things that were very different and that demonstrate that war was changing. Okay, so por las que estoy enseñando esta imagen es para demostrarles que la guerra cambió durante la Segunda Guerra Mundial y andaban como no andaban siguiendo mucho las reglas. Okay, so basically, like in war, a military is not supposed to attack a city or a town that has no military purpose. Okay, so en la guerra hay una regla que dice que un ejército no debe de atacar una ciudad o un pueblo si esa ciudad no tiene un propósito militar. Okay, like for example, if the city has like a base where it has soldiers, then you're allowed to attack it. So, por ejemplo, si hay una ciudad que tiene una base con soldados, entonces las reglas dicen que es permitido atacar esa ciudad, okay? But if it doesn't have any soldiers, it's not a base, there's no reason to attack it, only to attack the city, then it's not allowed. It's considered a war crime. Okay, so si no hay ninguna razón por atacar esa ciudad, este pueblo, que tiene como una conexión militar, entonces eso es considerado un crimen de guerra. Okay, so and I think a lot of these rules, Wildania, they were kind of formalities, or they were understood. Muchas de estas reglas fueron como nomás conocidas, ¿verdad? Habían unos documentos donde las tenían escritas, pero no eran como muy no eran, los países no los veían y decían, mira, aquí están las reglas, ¿verdad? Antes. Before, they weren't very organized, they weren't written down. They like to say here, like, see, these are the rules, right? But after World War II, because of a lot of things that happened during World War II, they made a really specific rules that even today people refer to. And so basically, if you want to learn more about these rules that happened because of World War II, they are called this. They're called the Geneva Conventions. Okay. So if you want to learn about like the Geneva Conventions, if you Google it, if you go on Wikipedia, it basically, this is the meeting that the countries had after the war. And right there, that's where they made very formal rules about war, okay? And to be enforced in the future. So en esas convenciones es cuando hablaron los países después de la guerra y básicamente hicieron como reglas estrictas básicamente para evitar lo que sucedió en la Segunda Guerra Mundial, para que vaya a repetirse, okay? All right, so Manuel is asking another question, then I'm going to move on to the next statistic because we have like only 6-7 minutes left. Did they fight to survive or to gain space to gain land? I think for all of these reasons, Manuel, they fought to survive, they fight to gain space, they fought to gain land. Like during the war, like the countries, everything was a different strategy. Some people were fighting to survive, some people were fighting to gain land. I think you can say that the Germans at the beginning of the war were fighting to gain territory, while let's say some like soldiers in Western Russia, they were fighting to survive. Okay, se puede decir que, por ejemplo, los soldados, especialmente el comienzo de la guerra, los soldados alemanes andaban peleando para ganar territorio, pero en comparación a la gente que vivía en el oeste de Rusia, ellos andaban peleando para sobrevivir porque los andaban atacando por el oeste. So, yeah. All right, so, and I'm just gonna tell you what these are. 25 million. So 25 million are the number of civilian deaths. Once again, civilian deaths, como para repetir, muertes civiles que no fueron parte del ejército, due to famine and disease. So during war, there's a lot of, there's a lot of things that are not connected to war that happen, okay? So if in your country, there's a lot of fighting happening, it affects how people get food, it affects resources, it affects access to clean water, okay? Cuando están peleando en su país y tienen como muchas batallas y todo eso, pues afecta de dónde sacan su comida, quién crece la comida, afecta quién de dónde, cómo transportan la comida, afecta los recursos, afecta el acceso a agua limpia. So all of these things combined, they lead to famine and disease. So todas esas cosas combinadas, pues hacen que la gente se muera de hambre, hace que la gente se muera de las enfermedades. So that's just like deaths that are connected to war, but not because someone shoots you, okay? All right, 6 million. 6 million are the number of Jewish people who died in the Holocaust during World War II. If you don't know what the Holocaust is, si no saben qué fue el Holocausto, that's fine. Like I said before, we really don't have a lot of time to talk about everything about World War II, but we're going to focus on this topic, okay? No hay mucho de lo que no se puede saber, todo lo que tenemos que saber sobre la Segunda Guerra Mundial, no la podemos estudiar este semestre porque pues no hay mucho tiempo, ¿verdad? Pero vamos a enfocarnos en este tema, que yo creo que es algo muy importante que deben aprender sobre esto, es el Holocausto, all right? So this is what we're going to be focusing on over the next few days, okay? So if you don't know what this is, that's fine, you're going to learn about it. All right, and 2, the number 2. So 2, the number of atomic bombs used against Japan. And with these 2 bombs, these 2 bombs by themselves, they killed 214,000 people, okay? So in history, like the atomic bombs have been used only 2 times, and it was during World War II. It was used by the United States against Japan. All right. So en la historia solamente se ha usado 2 bombas atómicas. Y esas bombas atómicas se fueron usadas durante la Segunda Guerra Mundial por los Estados Unidos en contra de Japón. Y las bombas combinadas, esas 2 bombas mataron 214,000 personas. Okay. So, yeah. So that, and really, and these bombs were like very small compared to, what the kinds of bombs we have now. Yeah, Anthony, correct. Anthony said, this is Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yes, it is. All right. So if you want to just have this, this information, or you want, you just want to reference it later, you have this information in your Google Classroom, right? Yeah, so you have this information in your Google Classroom and in different languages. So if you wanted to read it again, to understand it, you can read it again. Wildania, do you have a question?
No, una pregunta, no puedes ir que son las 2:30 y no por nada, pero...
Okay, well, all right, Wildania, but but I think I have 3 more minutes just because like you guys came in a little later. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's basically what I'm just going to explain what the homework is. Okay, nomás voy a explicar qué es la tarea. Okay, that's all that's left. So so hopefully those statistics told you a little bit of something about the homework. Okay, about World War II. And what you're going to look up information about are the causes of World War II. Okay. So under your Google Classroom, you have here, it says causes of World War II. So let's view the assignment together. And we'll open here. Okay, so here's what you have to do. You're creating 3 slides. Okay, here are the directions. The next slide has the directions in different languages, so you can read those to make sure you understand. And basically, this is what the first slide. You have to tell me some of the countries that were part of the Allied powers, and some of the countries that were on the opposite side, that were part of the Axis powers. Okay, so this is information that you can easily just type into Google. You can just go like this and say who were the Axis powers, and it'll give you a list. Okay, so that's something that you can find very easily on Google. To help you, and for the other 2 slides, you have to tell me 2 causes of the Second World War. Van a tener que decirme cuáles son 2 causas de la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Hay varias, ¿verdad? Pero quiero que elijan solamente 2. And you're going to put down like a description and a picture that connects to it, okay? Like the same as you usually do. On the assignment, you'll see here there's a link to a web page, and that's what you can use. Here are several causes of World War II. And here are videos also. So this is a BrainPop video that talks about the causes of World War II. And it's English, Spanish, and French. Now, here's the thing. For some reason, like if I click on it now, it's not, for some reason, there's problems with it playing. I don't know what's wrong, but it's not playing, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these videos, I'm going to put them here, okay? I'm going to put them, connect them here so you can just find them right there, okay? So, yeah, so that's there. That's basically it. So please have this ready by Thursday, que esté todo listo para el jueves. I'm gonna choose students at random to give me some of the causes, okay? So I might say, well, Danya, give me a cause for the war, and then I'm gonna look at your presentation and show it to everyone, and you can explain what a cause was, okay? So everyone should be ready with a couple of causes so that at the beginning of class, you can, we'll take volunteers, or I'll just use the wheel of names, and we can learn from what you did, okay? You got it? Okay, so as soon as I get off right now, I'm going to add the videos to the assignment so you can watch the videos. I think the videos are okay. They give a lot of the causes, and in the video, it also gives you the Allies and the Axis powers, so you can get basically all the information from the videos, okay? All right, so I guess that's it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for staying. I'm not going to say it's an extra 4 minutes because I think you guys came in like 3 minutes late. So thank you for staying the extra minute. But it's appreciated, okay?